Hello, I'm Lisa Clow, and this video is going to be about being a highly sensitive person, or an HSP. I wrote myself some notes because this stuff is a little complicated. When I first started posting my stories and drawings on Instagram, I talked about being a highly sensitive person, or an HSP. Someone I follow online recommended these books by Elaine Aron, Highly Sensitive Person. There is also a workbook. If you think you might be an HSP, I recommend getting both. Also, this was published in 1996, and I really wish I'd found it earlier. Would have been very handy, but you know, it is what it is. So I've spent a lot of years going over my life, over my stories, trying to figure out why I am the way I am. And a lot of my artwork has been about that. And after discovering I'm an HSP, it's like everything just became a lot more clear. I could look at everything in a new perspective, understanding, oh, that's why I'm that way. That's why I react that way. I used to think I was shy. A lot of us are labeled shy. Overly sensitive, obviously. I've had trouble with anxiety. I have trouble adjusting to change, even a change I want, moving someplace that I want to move. There's just always an adjustment. Everything's new, everything's different. I don't have a routine. We moved a lot when I was a kid, and I always had trouble adjusting to the new place. We moved every 2 years, starting in 5th grade. I mean, I was born in Iowa. We moved to Illinois. We moved to Texas, lived 3 different places in Texas. We moved 5th grade, 7th grade, 9th grade, 11th grade, junior year of high school, 3 weeks before the end of the year. I begged my parents to let me stay with a friend so I could finish out the school year. Nope. We moved from Pennsylvania to Indianapolis, and I finished out the school year. Didn't know anyone. Wasn't long enough to make friends. I spent the summer between junior and senior years with my mom. Anyway, so all this trouble adjusting is due to being an HSP. So after reading these books and doing the exercises, I learned an awful lot. I made a lot of realizations. So when I'm anxious, it could be that I'm overstimulated. It could be that I'm exhausted. When I'm flustered, I may feel rushed. Like, you know, if people just come up to me and demand something like, I need this, or what do you think about this? What do you want to have for dinner? Ah! It's like, give me a minute. I can't spit out an answer. I need a minute to process. What are you asking me? What do I want? What do I feel? Just hold on. So if I'm irritable, it could be the weather. Changing weather and the changing atmospheric pressures can affect me and make me anxious. And of course, once I'm anxious, my brain starts looking for something to be anxious about, or something to worry about, or something to, you know, obsess about. So it's taken some time to realize how to deal with that, how to calm myself. And a lot of the calming techniques came from Martha Beck. I started with 4-Day Win back in 2009, recommended by someone. And I don't read self-help books. I quit reading self-help books when I was in my early 20s. But this was recommended by an author that I read. Anyway, so 4-Day Win, which allegedly is about weight loss, but really it's about calming your mind, calming your body. I think my favorite book of hers, I call it the Wayfinder book. And then her newest book, which just came out, The Way of Integrity. I took the cover off. So Martha Beck, I learned a lot about calming my mind and relaxing my body and trying to sever those connections where, you know, the brain looks for something to feel anxious about. But the HSP really made me realize why I have these reactions that I do. So these realizations have allowed me to see that there was never anything wrong with me. I'm just an HSP. So I'm going to read a post from August of 2018. This is a printout of it. This was talking about being an HSP on Instagram. I'm writing these stories to describe the situation of my childhood more accurately to myself. The HSP workbook encourages exploration of the past and reframing, now that I can look at it differently, knowing I'm a highly sensitive person. We moved a lot when I was a kid. My parents were dealing with setbacks in my father's career, some apparently self-inflicted. Add to the mix that I was highly sensitive. They had no patience for such nonsense. They wanted me quiet, compliant, and never upset about anything, ever. I had trouble adjusting to change. I did eventually adjust. I just needed time. This is a common HSP trait. We think about things deeply, so we need time to decide how we feel about something, but others rarely wait for us or tolerate this behavior. I am, and always was, easily overstimulated, then overwhelmed. Moving to a new city, a new home, going to a new school where I didn't know anyone, every 2 years overloaded my circuits. When overwhelmed, I shut down. I was labeled shy, as most HSPs are, but this is wrong. We are not shy, just give us a minute. So as I'm posting here, making videos, and on my Instagram, I'm going to be like reposting the thing. Not really reposting, but you can put them in your stories, and then I'm going to add them to a highlight. A lot of the posts will talk about being an HSP before we get into some of the later, like, you know, moving away from home, going to college. But we'll get to that soon. Thanks for watching.